Hi, I'm Camille Sandana, an Employment Standards Officer with the Ministry of Labour. Most employees in Ontario are protected by the Employment Standards Act, or ESA. It sets out minimum standards for workplaces. Over the next few minutes, I'll give you some helpful information about your rights under the ESA. You'll learn how it may apply to you and also where to find additional resources. You may have greater rights under other legislation or the common law. Did you know your employer is required to display this poster? It briefly describes some of the employment standards in Ontario. Employers are also required to give a copy of the poster to each employee. The poster is available for free online at ontario.ca/ESA poster in English and many other languages. Keep in mind that special rules and exemptions apply to certain employees. To see if you're covered by the ESA or if your job is subject to special rules or exemptions, try the special rule tool available on our website.
The boss is making me work 10 hours again today. Can she just do that whenever she wants?
I don't know. She does that to me all the time, too.
In Ontario, there are daily and weekly limits to how long you can be asked to work. For most jobs, the daily limit is 8 hours, or the number of hours in an established regular workday if it's longer than 8 hours. The daily maximum can only be exceeded if you agree in writing. The weekly limit for most jobs is 48 hours, but you can work more if certain conditions are met. Your employer needs to receive your written agreement. They must supply you with information about your rights before you sign, and your employer must get approval from the Ministry of Labour's Director of Employment Standards. For most jobs, after 44 hours of work in a work week, you must receive overtime pay. The overtime rate must be at least 1.5 times your regular rate of pay. Eating periods are also regulated by the ESA. Most employees must not work more than 5 consecutive hours without a 30-minute unpaid eating period. You can learn more about overtime, eating periods, and the daily and weekly limits at ontario.ca/hours of work.
Well, you got the job, but times are tough, so I can only give you $10 an hour.
That's not even minimum wage.
Most employees are entitled to be paid at least the general minimum wage. However, there are different minimum wage rates for students, liquor servers, home workers, and hunting and fishing guides. For current rates, visit ontario.ca/minimum wage.
So I haven't been paid in 3 weeks. My rent is coming up due. When am I going to get paid next?
Employers must establish a regular pay period and pay employees on a regular pay day. An employer can pay wages by cash, check, or direct deposit into your bank account. You must also be provided with a pay stub or wage statement on or before the established payday. The pay stub lists both the wages and any deductions made in the pay period. Only certain kind of deductions are allowed to be taken from your wages. You can watch the Ministry of Labour's video, Illegal Deductions from Wages, on the Government of Ontario's YouTube channel to find out more.
Hey Karen, how are ya?
Hi, Camille. How long do you have to work here to get a vacation?
I think it's about a year.
Generally, employees are entitled to 2 weeks of vacation time after every 12-month period of work. Employees are also entitled to receive vacation pay, which is at least 4% of gross wages earned in the vacation entitlement year. In most cases, the vacation pay earned must be paid to an employee in a lump sum before he or she takes vacation time. But if you and your employer agree in writing, vacation pay can be paid on each paycheck or at any other time. To learn more about vacation time and pay, read the vacation chapter in your guide to the Employment Standards Act, available at ontario.ca/vacation.
Working this holiday, it's so busy today.
At least we get paid extra.
Yeah.
There are 9 public holidays in Ontario every year. Most employees are entitled to take these days off. Some employees work in industries where they may have to work on a public holiday. If you're asked to work on a public holiday, you may be entitled to either your regular pay plus a different day off with public holiday pay, or public holiday pay plus premium pay, which is at least 1.5 times your regular rate for each hour worked on the holiday. To learn more about public holidays, read the public holiday chapter in your Guide to the Employment Standards Act, available at ontario.ca/public holidays.
I've only worked here for 6 months. Do you know if I can take a leave?
I don't know. That's a really good question.
If you're protected by the ESA, you have the right to take unpaid time off as a leave of absence for certain reasons. It doesn't matter if you're a full-time, part-time, permanent, or term contract employee. There are a number of different leaves you may be entitled to, such as pregnancy, parental, personal emergency, family caregiver, or family medical leave. Your employer can't punish or terminate you for taking a protected leave, and in most cases, they must return you to your job when your leave is over. Information on all the different leaves of absence is available in your Guide to the Employment Standards Act.
Hello, you asked to see me?
Hi, Minda. Thank you for coming. You're a good employee and have been for the last 4 years. Unfortunately, the business is no longer profitable. I'm going to have to let you go. Sadly, 4 weeks from today will be your last day. Here's your written notice.
In most cases, if you're terminated, your employer must give either notice of termination, termination pay, or a combination of both. The amount you may be entitled to depends on how long you worked for your employer. You're only eligible if you've been employed continuously for at least 3 months. Please note, the ESA establishes only minimum employment standards. You may also have rights under the common law or other legislation. To find out if you might be entitled to termination notice or pay, try our termination tool, available at ontario.ca/ESA tools.
Hey, Chris.
Hey.
I heard you were going to ask the boss to start paying you overtime pay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Why not?
The last guy who asked about getting his overtime pay was fired.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
No problem.
It is illegal for your employer to penalize you for exercising your rights under the Employment Standards Act or for asking about them. That means your employer cannot intimidate you, fire you, suspend you, punish you, or threaten any of these actions for exercising your rights or asking about them. If your employer does, it's called a reprisal, and your employer can be ordered by an employment standards officer to compensate you for any loss incurred because of a reprisal, reinstate you to your job, or both compensate and reinstate you.
Hi, Sue.
Hi.
So my last day's on Friday. I wonder when I'm supposed to get my last paycheck.
If you have a question about the ESA or need information on how to file a claim, you can contact the Employment Standards Information Center at 1-800-531-5551. Information Center staff can help you understand your rights and answer your questions in English, French, and many other languages. When you call, you don't have to provide your name or the name of your employer. And remember, your employer cannot punish you for talking to the Ministry of Labor. If you believe that you have not received your entitlements under the ESA, you can file a claim. A claim can be filed with the ministry in a number of different ways. To access the Employment Standards Claim Form, visit ontario.ca/ESA forms. Unionized employees should talk to their union representative for help with their issue. There are other ESA rights and special rules that I haven't touched on, including severance pay and rules for assignment employees of temporary help agencies. For more information on all your rights, please visit our website, ontario.ca/employment standards, or call our information center, 1-800-531-5551. Information is available in English, French, and many other languages.